Hello YouTubers and welcome to Novus Talks with me, your host Novus Scorpius. And I can't believe it, but we finally have a trailer for Skylines to react to. The last time I talked about this movie was, I'd say, about a year ago, probably summer of last year, and I've been eagerly waiting for a trailer ever since to do a reaction to. Because as I said at the start of the year, this was one of my most anticipated movies of the year. Luckily, to my knowledge, it's a straight to DVD release, so there wasn't much of a chance of it getting delayed or pushed back to next year. So at least I knew I would have one thing to watch in 2020. So I've been eagerly awaiting a trailer all year, and it just got randomly dropped either, I think, yesterday. So we're going to do a reaction to it here without further ado. I've been waiting for a while for this, and we'll have a discussion on it afterwards.
Whoa.
There is only one thing harder than winning a war.
Keeping the peace.
For the past 5 years, we coexisted peacefully.
This already looks a lot different.
Until now. If we don't find a solution, 3 billion will die. However, we crack their navigation. We're embarking on the first mission to their world. You've been blessed with the ability to interact with alien tech.
Well, that's
I
cool.
want you to join us.
Oh wow.
Taste of our own medicine.
This is in the end credit scene of Beyond Skyline.
That's it? Oh, so you have half a plan.
Yeah, best.
The epic conclusion to the Skyline trilogy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cobalt 1. Anything moves. Burn it.
Got movement, more wall, 2 signatures. What is it?
An egg or something.
They're surrounding us.
Oh, what the? That looks different.
To face extermination, we'll have to push beyond our limits.
Wait, what was that?
I know what's at stake. I'm not afraid to die for it.
That's cool. Oh, a purple one.
Finish this myself.
Oh my god. They're gonna blow up the planet. Oh, wow. That was very interesting. Wow, that was a lot different than I would have expected. It has a very distinct look to it. It doesn't feel like with the first 2 Skyline movies, you kind of got the feel that they were like independently produced films, that they weren't like main like studio produced films like by Paramount or Universal or anything. Just based on like the look of the films alone. Whereas with this one, it has a very different look to it. It feels more kind of, for lack of a better term, Hollywood-esque, and it's very interesting. That gave me, I like that a lot. That gave me quite a good idea of what to expect from this film. It looks like the start of the film, I'm willing to bet like the first like half an hour or 40 minutes or something is going to be about being on Earth and preparing for going to the alien planet, which we now know is called Cobalt 1. Very interesting when you get to see like the remains of the ships like crashing the cities and stuff. It looks very high budget, interesting enough. That's what I took away from this. It looked very high budget. The first 2 films were of a lower budget, of course, especially the first one, but to think that we're at the point now where this is getting like really big it's fascinating. It's really cool to see. It reminded me of a lot of other kind of alien battle films where like you get to see the destruction of a city, Transformers Dark of the Moon, Spider-Man Homecoming, you know, all this type of thing where you get to see the wreckage, the aftermath of a battle in a major city. That's what this looks like it's doing at the start here. And then I noticed as you go along, she had that like purple energy that she could shoot from the blade on her arm, which wasn't in Beyond Skyline, interesting enough. So I'm wondering if that's some sort of new upgrade that's going on, or if that's got to do with like her mental connection or something. And as I noticed toward the end, some of the aliens as well are purple, similar to how Beyond Skyline brought in the idea of the red aliens, which were human or part human. Now we have the purple ones, which I'm willing to bet are in between. They're humans who are halfway through the kind of transformation process. Because I read a synopsis a few days ago that said there was like a virus infecting humans and turning them into aliens. So I bet that's what that is about. And it looked to me at the end that they're going to blow up the alien planet or something. And that I'm going to bet that's one of the main characters who is trying to escape at the end. I have a feeling that's going to be like part of this cool action sequence that's going to be implemented into the finale. Wow. I still can't get over how like high budget it looks. It's very impressive for a Skyline movie like this. It doesn't look like it fits in with these two films in that sense, because it's so much more crisp, I think is what I should be saying about it. Very interesting, a lot more story based, which is interesting because that's something the trailers for the previous two movies didn't really do a lot much. Granted, with the first movie, you know, there wasn't much of a story. It was aliens coming down and that was it. You knew what you needed to know. Beyond Skyline, you know, the trailers didn't really give any sort of hint toward the story. That was all kept for the film itself, whereas this one actually gives you an idea of what to expect this time. And a very good idea at that. As I said, it looks really, really impressive. I noticed that I caught a passing glimpse of it, and I'd have to look at it again to be sure, but was there a new type of alien there? It looked like there was a different alien face, like actual skin, like outside of the suits. It looked like something else. That's interesting. But it's really cool that we're finally going to see the homeworld of the aliens. I wonder, are we going to see a lot of the ones we've seen in the previous two films? Like, are we going to see the... I know they all have different names, and I don't know them off the top of my head, but you had the flying snake things. I think they were called, like, hydras or something, and then you had the tanks, and there was different names for some of the other smaller ones, but, you know, they weren't really aliens as much as they were kind of like... They were like half alien, half machine, kind of. If you've seen the first two films, especially the first one, you know what I'm getting at. You get a lot of these kind of flying things. I wonder, are we going to see a lot of that in this? I hope we do, because it would be really cool to bring that back for the big finale. And this does confirm what I've been thinking about the movie for a while, that this was going to be the end. Which, you know, I'm happy for. I'm happy to get a conclusion. I'm shocked we're even getting a third movie. As I said after I watched Beyond Skyline, you know, the ending of how it set up the third film reminded me heavily of Independence Day Resurgence's ending. In fact, it's almost the same ending in a way, where it's like humans getting ready to take the fight to the aliens, but the third Independence Day movie was cancelled, or at least put on hold for the foreseeable future. So we're not going to see that story go anywhere. And yet we're going to see it with Skylines, funny enough. So the fact that that story is getting told in some form, in some franchise, to me is really cool. And that's what got me excited about it in the first place. The one hope I have going into this is that there is more of a focus on the story and the plot details. And, you know, the trailer did a fantastic job of giving us an idea of what to expect. But that is my one issue with the previous two films. There's not a lot of detail or explanation for what's going on. With the first movie, like, you have the aliens sucking up the humans. You have the humans getting corrupted by the, I think the official name for them is the sirens, the blue lights. But there was no explanation for why. And then in Beyond Skyline, you had the idea that human brains were being incorporated into the alien bodies or something. There was no explanation for that. Beyond Skyline did have a bigger story, but there was no explanation of those kind of details. There was nothing about, you know, why are they doing this? What happens when this is done? And, you know, little details like this. And the third film now is introducing this idea of a virus, which kind of follows on from the second film, but I'm worried it's not going to get explained, since it wasn't explained in the second film. That it's just going to be left up to the audience to interpret. I'm hoping I'm wrong, because this film shows a lot of potential, and I have a lot of faith in what's going to be done with this film. I would really like this. To me, it would be perfect. What would make this perfect would be to see the answers to the questions we've had since the first film. If they can explain what the hell the sirens are, if they can explain, you know, why there's a virus or why the aliens are absorbing human brains and all this sort of thing, and if they've done it to other planets, which I presume they have, you know, and why some humans are immune, all this sort of thing. I really, really hope they answer that. I'm crossing my fingers here. I'm not fully certain they will, but I have hopes that they will. Just one final note that just came into my head there when I was talking about those little small details. The fact that the planet is called Cobalt-1, I have a feeling maybe it's going to connect, since there's already that connection to the colour blue. I wonder if they're going to do some explanation with the light thing there. I don't know. Maybe that's just something I picked up on, but I don't know. As I said, I'm going to do a deep dive, a trailer breakdown for the next video. But as of for this video, that is it. Wow, this exceeded my expectations, and I'm really happy for this, and I'm really excited to see how it all comes to an end. And you know, it'll be really cool to see, because this one looks like it's going to be even better than the other two. And I liked the other two, especially Beyond, but this one looks like it's going to be miles better, and that gets me really excited. So yeah, this was a really pleasant surprise, and I can't wait to see it. Let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What do you think of this trailer? Have you watched the first two Skyline films? What do you think of them? Do you have any hopes and expectations for the third movie? Any theories, speculation? I want to hear everything you have to say down in the comment section below. And yeah, with that all said, thank you all for watching, and please subscribe. Novus Corvus out.